What would you have done though if he had said, that's just my mom?
You can't do those things and focus on anxiety at the same time.
Right. I think it's so misunderstood. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fascinating Womanhood channel. On our channel, we talk about everything that has to do with developing femininity and building strong, long-lasting, loving relationships. I am Cherry Lynn, and I am usually here with my mom, Dixie Andel and Forsyth, but today I actually had a question that was just directed towards me, so I thought it could be fun, and she had kind of a tight schedule this week. If you're new to Mini Mondays, it's just a quick series that we do on Monday where we take a question from our audience and answer them. Some of you may not really know that we get so many questions in the mail and in messages because a lot of ladies, when they're talking about relationships and femininity, they kind of want to keep it a little bit private. And so we're constantly answering questions all the time via message and email. And we thought, why not do a series where we answer questions anonymously for folks? So that might help others out there that have the same question get it answered too. Today, I am addressing a message that I received about femininity when you are young. So I'm just going to read the question and try to answer it as best I can. Just keep in mind, sometimes in these Mini Mondays, we don't have a ton of information. So the messages that we get and the questions that we get might not have a ton of details. So we just answer them as best we can. So I'm going to try to do this by myself. I've never done it by myself. So here we go. Hi, Cherry. I just watched a video where you mentioned you weren't a big fan of Fascinating Womanhood while growing up, but became a bigger fan of it later and as an adult. Can you explain why you didn't connect with it as a younger woman and why you came to connect with it later? I have a 14-year-old daughter who isn't very much into femininity, and I'm wondering how I can best support her. I don't want to say I wasn't a huge fan. I just didn't connect with Fascinating Womanhood very much. I always, growing up, having a grandmother that wrote this amazing book and then having a mother that was kind of carrying on the legacy, I want to be honest with you, I just kind of took it for granted. I didn't really study it that much. I definitely read it. I think the first time I read it, I was about that age of your daughter, 14. And I thought it was great, but I just didn't really connect with it. I think for me, what I connected with more was just watching my mom be an example. And I always thought that my parents had this amazing relationship because they were lucky. I didn't really connect the dots. I think I was just a little immature and I just didn't connect with it. I wish that I had though, but I think a lot of young girls might reject femininity and the idea of it because of the culture that we live in, and they're constantly surrounded by a culture that doesn't really accept it or appreciate it. Honestly, that's my answer, is that I just really didn't connect with it because I didn't really understand it, and I didn't really understand the value behind it, and I was really interested in other things. And to be completely honest, I think I was just a little bit rebellious. I think of as many of us maybe are at that age. I just wanted to kind of find my own path. I definitely started to study it so much after I was married, and especially after I had children. So one thing is for absolute sure, when I did grasp it and did start to feel like I had a connection with it, it completely changed my life. So at some point, if she does find the value of femininity, just know that it's never too late. And it came a little bit later for me. Hopefully it won't come as late for her, but Fascinating Womanhood just absolutely was a game changer for me. I kind of feel like I missed out on a lot of things. As far as the second question with your daughter who is just young, how can you support her? I love that you word it that way. You just want to support her. I think that's great that you want to support her. That in of itself is really, really important. Supporting her by being an example is probably the best thing that you can do. I don't think that she's gonna really love if you try to force a lot of ideas into her head if she's just not interested in hearing about them. But being an example is probably the best thing that you can do. You can certainly offer her to study different books and different things, but if she rejects them, I think it's just so important to allow her to find it herself. Celebrate feminine things with her, celebrate girl time with her, do all the things that you enjoy doing together, mother and daughter having fun and I definitely would just say listen to her, because that's what my mother always did, was she just always listened to me and always accepted me for who I was, even when I was making not the greatest choices, but always just accept her and spend time with her and try to get to know her and try to understand her more. And after all of that, you'll probably be able to get through to her a little bit more if you want to, about the value of femininity and how important all of the fascinating womanhood principles are. So I hope that answers your question. If you have a question out there that you would like to ask us, you can ask both of us. You can ask just Dixie. Totally up to you, and it's all anonymous. Submit it to this email right here on the screen, and we will hopefully pick your question for a future Mini Monday. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.